Look, when I was young, our church, Sunday school, was like 8 o'clock in the morning. It was too early to make some noise, but y'all, it's 12 o'clock. Good morning.
Good morning.
I said good morning.
Good morning.
So this is called next level, right?
Yeah.
Because y'all got that next level. So when I say next, y'all say level. Next. Level. Next. Level. And it's called next level because y'all got next. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question. Who got next? And constantly say, we got next. Who got next?
We got next.
Y'all don't believe it over here. Who got next?
We got next.
Do y'all believe it? Who got next?
We got next.
They believe right here. Thank y'all. This is my amen corner right here. Who got next?
We got next.
Y'all don't believe it. All right, so listen. Before I get into the text and our time, I want to do a quick illustration. I need some volunteers. So I need one female next level student and one male next level student. Right here, right here. Come on. Make some noise for her, please. Make some noise for him, please. And then give me Mr. DeSante, and give me Miss Rachel. I need some next gen volunteers. So make some noise for Generate. Can y'all come up here, please? Don't just stand right here. Stand right here. So if you're like me, you probably gained the Thanksgiving 10 this past week. I need to get in the gym and burn some things off. So today we're gonna do some physical activity. So we're gonna have a competition. All right, I know you're a little older. Hope y'all got the blood flowing. Don't wanna hear you snap, crackling, and popping over here. But we're going to have a push-up contest.
Oh, wait.
So DJ, when I say go, it's gonna be 10 seconds, just 10 seconds. Ladies.
Wait. Just like hold her,
Like a real, not like a real push-up. Like you gotta really go down. No, it's you. So, what's your name?
My name is Kelly.
Kelly. So when Kelly, make some noise for Kelly, please. When Kelly is pushing them out, I need all the ladies to make some noise for her and count. It's like 1, 2, 3. All right, let's see how many she gets. What's your name, sir? Bryce. What's up, Bryce? Make some noise for Bryce, please. Yeah, Bryce. So fellas, when Bryce is knocking them out, I want you to count for his numbers, okay? I want to see if y'all can get more than Generate. If y'all think they're going to get the most push-ups, make some noise. If y'all think the Generate crew will get the most, make some noise. Okay. All right, we're going to start over here first. Y'all just relax. All right, let's go. Y'all ready? DJ, you ready? Need some noise, some music. 3, 2, 1, let's get it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
5 more seconds. Time. Good job. Yeah. Good job, Kelly. I'll stay. All right.
So they did 15?
They did 15.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Y'all ready? Hold up. Let me be intentional. Pause the music, please. I want to be intentional and create a hindrance for y'all. So I need Miss Courtney come up here, please.
Oh, wow.
And I need Mr. Michael come up here. So Miss Rachel, when you go down, I want Miss Courtney to relax and sit on you. All right, when you go down, I want Mr. Michael just relax and sit on him, okay? So get as many as you can with this hindrance I created.
And your knees can't touch the ground.
No, it's real push-ups.
Okay.
Y'all ready? All right, 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. Don't break nothing. Oh. Get your swallow on, DeSante. 10 more seconds. Come on. Ooh. Time. All right, make some noise for the volunteers. Make some noise. Good job, girl. Good job, bro. Good job.
You be working out.
All right, so they were each given the same activity, same instructions, but the results were much different. For them, they killed it. Y'all had what, 15, 16? 16. Yeah, 16, okay, 16. For some people, respect to 16. Okay, 16, y'all had 16. They had like 6. But I intentionally created a hindrance for them. See, lately, I know this last month, you all been intentional, Pastor Isaac, Pastor Jonathan, y'all been talking about this thing called Thanksgiving. Y'all been in 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Be thankful in every circumstances. This is the will of those in Christ Jesus. You've been getting great encouragement, exhortation to be thanksgiving. But I stopped by today to let y'all know there are going to be some hindrances that'll prevent you from being thankful. So today we're going to talk about the hindrances to Thanksgiving. The hindrances to Thanksgiving. Go ahead, look at your neighbor, say, neighbor, Stop being entitled. Say it with some energy, okay? Look at the other end and say, neighbor, who do you think you are? All right, so we're going to be in 3 verses today to articulate this. We'll start off in Matthew 20, verses 1 through 15. This is called Laborers in the Vineyard. This is a parable. So a parable is always a story within a bigger story. It's a metaphorical story, all right? For the kingdom of heaven, you know what? Yeah. For the kingdom of heaven is like a master of a house who went out early in the morning to hire laborers for his vineyard. After agreeing with the laborers for a denarius a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And going out about the 3rd hour, he saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said to them, you go into the vineyard too, and whatever is right, I will give you. So they went out, going out again about the 6th hour, and in the 9th hour, he did the same. And about the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing. And he said to them, why do you stand here idle all day? They said to him, because no one has hired us. He said to them, you go into the vineyard too. And when evening came, the owners of the vineyard said to his foreman, call the laborers and pay them their wages, beginning with the last up to the first. And when those hired about the 11th hour came, each of them received a denarius. Now, listen to this. When those hired first came, they assumed they would receive more. But each of them also received a denarius. And on receiving it, they grumbled, aka they complained at the master of the house, saying, these last worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the day in the scorching heat. But he replied to one of them, friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for denarius? Take what belongs to you and go. I choose to give you this last worker as I give to you. Are you jealous because I'm generous? So the first hindrance to thanksgiving is entitlement. When we look at this text, we see that 2 guys were hired for a job. They made a contract. Hey, do this job. I'll give you a day's wage called a denarius. They said, bet, cool, sign me up. This owner, the master of the house, he saw other individuals later in the day and gave them opportunity to work as well. When it came time to get the hourly pay that they agreed on, they said, when those hired first came, they assumed they would receive more. That's entitlement. You agreed for a denarius, why do you expect to get more than that? They assumed. Then, so this is the thing, entitlement is like an umbrella, but beneath it, it's like a spiral. You'll see that spiral. So first, it's entitlement. Then it says they will receive more, but each of them also received the denarius. And on receiving it, they grumbled at the master of the house. So now they're complaining. Now they're hurt. Why are they hurt? Saying, these last worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us who have borne the burden of the day in the scorching heat. So they're entitled, they're complaining, and now they're comparing. It's been said that comparison is a thief of what? Joy. Come on. Comparison is a thief of joy. I'm burdened for you all young people because of social media. We grew up, we had 5 kids in our neighborhood we compared our lives to. Y'all have 5,000 y'all follow online. That's a heavy burden. So to make this plain, I just want to share an example of this. When I was young, my parents surprised me with this thing called a Game Gear. Y'all ever heard of a Game Gear? Anybody? Woo, I'm showing my age. So a Game Gear was like a Game Boy. It's a small, gaming device, and I was hyped. I was grateful. I was thankful. I was thanking them, kissing on them, hugging on them. I would play it all the time. But then I went to my neighbor's house, Wes, and Wes introduced me to his game that he got. He got a Sega Genesis. I said, what is this? You can put it to the TV. It's a lot bigger. I was hurt. I went home, sad, angry. I'm going to say, what's wrong? I said, man, y'all didn't give me the right gift. Man, how dare I? How dare I have the audacity to complain? How dare I have the audacity to be entitled? Now, listen, one of my sons is here this morning. I'm not trying to pick on him, but that's what, people who speak up here, that's what they do, right? Because kids get the best illustrations. So my sons, they have 2 rich aunties, okay? Like, they rich. One is here today, Miss Destiny. Make some noise, Miss Destiny. She got money, y'all. She got money. But she a different kind of rich auntie. She's one that stacks and saves. So she's not giving y'all nothing, so don't ask. She stacks and saves. But the other one, Auntie T, my boys are called TT, she consistently gives them $1. Every time we pull up, bam, $1. The first time they were super excited. Oh, TT, they said thank you, gave her the hug. But then I started noticing a little bit of entitlement. One day we pulled up in the neighborhood, we happened to see Auntie T, and our oldest said, let's go over there. She don't give me $1. Like, dang, you want to go say hi? You don't want to check in with her? She don't give me $1. And now when they get a daughter saying thank you, giving hugs, we have to remind them, hey, y'all, say thank you. Say thank you, because they are entitled. And so as their entitlement increases, their thanksgiving decreases. All right, let's go to the next hindrance. The next hindrance will be in Genesis 4, 1 through 9. And this one is called anger. Anger. Anger will hinder your thanksgiving. How many of y'all were a little bit angry this week during Thanksgiving? Anybody? Tell the truth. Maybe you didn't get that meal you wanted. Maybe somebody stole some cornbread off your plate. You felt that? What was it, Jiffy or hot water? All right. So listen, we're going to read this text from Genesis 4, 1 through 9 to highlight the hindrance of anger. This is what it says. Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord. And again she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain a worker of the ground. In the course of time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground, and Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of the fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his face fell. The Lord said to Cain, why are you angry, and why has your face fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it. Cain spoke to Abel his brother, and when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, where is Abel your brother? He said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? All right, so we have two brothers. My wife and I, we have two sons, Davin and Daxon. They love each other. This is Cain and Abel, two brothers, different jobs. Abel, shepherd of the flocks. Cain, he tilled the ground. Now, this is in Genesis 4. This is right after Genesis 3 with the fall, where everything was cursed. The land was cursed. So the reason God didn't accept Cain's offering, his offering of acceptance and worship, is because it came from the ground, which was cursed. Where Abel was demonstrating his dominion by bringing it from the first flocks. From the first flocks of the sheep that he was to flock over. So we see here it says, and the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering he had no regard. So Cain was very angry and his face fell. In some translation where it says his face fell, it says he was despondent. So this is basically the first time in the text where we see depression. Notice what came first, anger. It's been said that depression is anger turned inward. So it makes sense that anger would hinder our thanksgiving. Notice the downward spiral angle. So first, he's angry. He didn't get what he wanted. The Lord then is gracious, and he tries to counsel him. If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it. So he gave him some good counsel. But because he was angry, his mind was irrational. Isn't that true? We're mad, we're a little irrational. You know, I'll just be transparent with you all. A few weeks ago, it broke my heart, but I came home from a hard day's work. I'm an administrator. We're basically educational firefighters. We're putting out fires all day long. Sometimes we come home, we're exhausted. But I'm a married man, I'm a father, so I come home, this is second shift. It's time to love, get to my family. But this day, I wanted to be served. I wanted to come home to the red carpet, come home to the kids greeting me, oh, daddy's home, we love you, with the hugs. It didn't happen. I came home, my wife was at work, I had to replace the babysitter, and the kids were just on one. They were bad. They were terrible. The terrible twos, the crazy threes, it was on display. And I was doing my best to try to stay patient, and I don't really explode on externally, but I implode on the inside, just clam up. And I was getting mad, and our kids wouldn't listen, and I just I got angry. I was hot. And then my wife came home, and when I went outside, our youngest who's next door started crying, and I heard the cry, but I didn't recognize what kind of cry it was because I was angry. I go outside, I get her stuff, I come back through the door, I hear the cry change a little bit, but I don't care, I'm hot, I'm mad. And I go lay down the things, and I hear my wife get out of the car say, oh, babe, and she runs to the door, my son, fingers got smashed in the door. So she had a right mind, she had the healthy way of thinking, she could understand, that's a different kind of cry. That's not a cry, I need my bottle, cry, I need my mommy, that's a cry, I'm in pain. And I was in the kitchen so hot, I didn't even hear it. Because that's a downward spiral of anger. When you are angry, you're not going to be thankful. You're not going to recognize the goodness. Instead of coming home and being grateful to love on my kids, I was hot. Anger got in the way of my Thanksgiving. So let's keep going. Then it says, then the Lord said to Cain, Cain spoke to Abel, his brother, and when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, where is Abel your brother? He said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? So now he's lying. I don't know where he is. That ain't my business. I'm not his keeper. He grown, I'm grown. Anger does this. It makes us turn inward. We're very inward focused. Thanksgiving is all about being upward focused, thanking God, but anger makes us turn inward. So that's the second hindrance. Anybody in here worked at a KAA before? Ever been to KAA, the camp? No. KAA? You know. Oh, 3 of y'all. Okay, that's good. So when I worked at KAA, we had this like typical kid that we would just call the angry kid. He just get out the bus. You give him some gifts. Give him this thing called an icy juicy. He just angry. Like, what's your problem, bro? Here's a dab, here's a hug. You out here on a free pay vacation. You got blobs and water and diving boards and jet skis and sports and games and girls and food, and you just angry. That's the problem, okay? When we are angry, we're not about Thanksgiving. So anger will always hinder our Thanksgiving. The next hindrance is called selfishness. Selfishness will be in 2 Timothy 3:1-5. It says, but understand this, that in the last days there will come times of difficulty. For people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having the appearance of godliness but denying its power. Avoid such people. So notice, there's a lot of sinful attitudes, sinful behaviors here, but it starts with what? Selfishness. It says, for people will be lovers of self. It's been said that selfishness is the sin from which all others flow. Think about it. When you lust after something, the sin is lust, but you lust after what? What you want. When you're angry, that's a sin, but you're angry because you didn't get what you want. It's all about you, me, myself, and I. Or as Pastor Evans says, me, myselfie, and I. Selfishness gets in the way of Thanksgiving because selfishness is the opposite of giving thanks to somebody else. Selfishness wants to be thanked. It wants to be in the position of God instead of recognizing God. The other day I was at school and this kid came to me and he kept telling me how all these friends were leaving him. And they were like, man, I don't want to be your friend anymore. I don't want to be your friend anymore. And he's a pretty, personal guy. And he said, what's going on with me? I'm outgoing and I'm cool. I said, man, your problem is you're selfish. He was like, dang, Mr. Reese, what do you mean? I said, hey, do you drive to school? He said, yeah, I drive a truck. I said, let me ask you some questions. When you're driving to school, somebody pumps in front of you and slides right in front of you, what do? Man, I honk the horn. He has some things at the window. I show them a couple fingers or two. I said, okay. I said, you look like you're angry, but really you're selfish. Because in that moment, you think the world revolves around you. I said, when you tried to yield and somebody didn't let you come over, what do? Man, I do the same thing. Honk my horn. I might even speed on the gas, get close to him, shake the car next to him. I said, because in that moment, you think the world revolves around you, so you're selfish. And that's the problem with selfishness. It gets in the way. Selfishness is all about self. There's this lie in the world that people are self-made. That ain't in the Bible. Read Psalm 139. I formed you in your mother's womb. God made you. None of us are self-made. We all are God-made. But selfishness gets in the way and it hinders us. So the 3 hindrances are anger, selfishness, and entitlement. And that's the problem. In the Bible, we'll talk about as a Christian, it's not just about recognizing the sin and putting it off. It's also about replacing that sin with what to put on. So we need to intentionally put these things off, these simple attitudes and actions. We need to intentionally put on the right kinds of attitudes and actions. So I don't know if y'all ate good this last week, but I did. My wife's mom, my mother-in-law, we call her Mama Juan, Miss Wanda, she's a beast. She can burn, she can throw down, okay? If she don't put one foot in the food, she puts both. She's like that. And a lot of times when she cooks the food, before she gets her plate, she'll kind of watch us and observe, and she wants to see our reaction. Are they enjoying it? Is that mac and cheese hitting right? Are the greens good? And we're in there, tongue slapping our gums, lips smacking, not saying a word because we're just tearing it up. It's so good. But occasionally, when that recipe is not right because the ingredients are off, she'll say, me know how the mac and cheese is. I think I missed a little something. Let me know how it is. Are those greens good? The store ran out of vinegar, and I couldn't put the vinegar in it. Is that cornbread okay? No, I didn't do that right. She knows that because the ingredients were off, the recipe was wrong, our enjoyment of the food was off. So I'm going to finish this time talking about a recipe for Thanksgiving. A recipe for Thanksgiving. I'll give you 3 things and show you 3 verses. These are the ingredients. First, recipe for Thanksgiving is this. You need a teaspoon of truth. A teaspoon of truth. Next, you need a gallon of grace. A gallon of grace. And last but not least, you need a scoop of salvation. A scoop of salvation. Romans 3:23 says, here's your truth, and this will eradicate entitlement. It says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. All of us. You might make straight A's, you still fell short. You might be the captain of the drill team, step team, the basketball team, you still fell short. Everybody in this building, young, old, white, black, Hispanic, whatever, we all fell short. Everybody next door fell short. We all have missed the mark. So how dare we have the audacity to be entitled? What we're really entitled to is hell. Separation from God. No second chances. But we don't get that. So that teaspoon of truth, that should increase our level of thanksgiving. Next, we need that gallon of grace. Gallon of grace. And I was going through this message, right now with you guys. I said, ouch, way more than I said amen. Because I'm guilty of all 3 of these things. I've been guilty this week of all 3 of these things. And sometimes when I feel guilty, I just want to wallow and swallow in my guilt. And I think that God is like the world and he believes in cancel culture. But the gospel and grace cancels cancel culture. So let's look at it. Ephesians 2:8-9 says, for you are saved by grace through faith, and this is not yourselves. It is God's gift, not from works, so that no one can boast. Man, it's a gracious gift. You can't earn it. You can't work for it. I grew up playing sports. I grew up in a home where I felt like I had to make plays in sports or make an A in academics to get love. I don't have to do that with God. And I can't do that. I need to stop trying, slow myself down and trust in what he did. So we need a gallon of grace. Lastly, we need a scoop of salvation. Romans 10:9 says, if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. If I had to walk into a room and let's say there was a competition to have a team of grateful people, and there were 10 people in the room, let's say 5 were believers and 5 were non-believers, and I was the owner of this team, when I walked in, the only question I would have is, which one of y'all are the ones that believe? And those would be the 5 I would pick. Because if you don't know God, you haven't been saved, then your gratitude, your thanksgiving, it dies with that thing. It dies on that object. It dies on that experience. What I mean is this. Everybody, whether you knew God or not, you celebrated Thanksgiving. You probably ate good, enjoyed times with family. You might have said, man, I'm thankful for this meal. It's hitting today. I'm thankful to see my family today. But your Thanksgiving died with that. If you're a believer, and you know the source of those things is God, so your level of Thanksgiving increases. It goes up a little bit. I know that God is the reason that I have taste buds and I can taste this food that's hidden. I know it's God that graced my mama or my papa or whoever to fly in today. I get to hang out with him because God graciously did that. So those are the 3 key ingredients: a teaspoon of truth, a gallon of grace, and a scoop of salvation. If you're here today and you don't know God, I'm just going to be honest with y'all. Your Thanksgiving, it's not going to be that great. You don't even understand how great you have it, how much God has given you if you don't understand salvation.